This one always got my back. Shout out to the light. Got my back. Yeah. Light team, light team. All right. Topic of the message I want to talk about is, it's funny. I see people, our preachers, tell people, prophesy to people, and they say, "Well, you're going to touch the nations for Jesus Christ." Yeah, you're gonna preach a gospel that's gonna touch the nations and stuff like that. And I think about that. I was like, wait a minute. That's a pretty much extreme picture to look at, and I wonder the individual that was prophesied this, do they understand the idea of the direction of what they have to go through to touch the nations or reach the nations or save the nations for the gospel of Jesus Christ? You know what I'm saying? Do they understand to what extent danger, or what do they have to go through for that kind of process? Well, this is what I love about the Word of God. The Word of God already has a blueprint of just about every idea of, every idea of everything. You know what I'm saying? But check this out. The topic of this message is going to talk about the reality of the JJ plan. Yeah, the JJ plan. Say. What JJ stands for? Well, JJ stands for two men that went through a process of touching nations. You know what I'm saying? These two men's first letter of their name start with J. And these two men are called Joseph and Jesus. Yeah, two people. Now I want you to observe this, their lives. Now Joseph, I'm a fan of Joseph. I'm such a fan of Joseph. I'm a fan of a lot of, I look at myself as a fan. I'm a fan of a lot of characters in the Bible. Joseph, has a different everybody has the same thing, but to the degree of what Joseph went through, like I'm a Job fan and stuff like that. I'm, a lot of fans, But let's talk about Joseph. I could get through all kind of fans in the Bible, it's just like I feel like a fan, I feel like a fan. The thing is, Job, Joseph, of course y'all know his story, young man, received a coat of many colors. He was favorite among Jacob. He was the favorite, Jacob's favorite, son, the brothers were jealous of him. When you get that favor, jealousy comes at, the favorite person. And of course he receives this dream that he said, 12 stars will bow down to him and stuff like that. And, he's off, now his journey is leading him. Oh, watch this. This is what you need to behold and recognize as reality. He's not strangers, but flesh and blood. You know what I'm saying? Brothers are taking him, wanting to get rid of him. Flesh and blood shared the same DNA structure. Is taking him to try to get rid of him. So the story. They put him they said, let's throw him in a pit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Reuben was like on the agenda. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's gonna throw this guy in the pit and make him, rot to death or something under I mean, I think about that. You're gonna leave your brother in a pit and make him just suffer in there and starve to death in there or something like that. I mean, that is just, wow. You must have had a really mega hatred towards your brother, your young brother crying out, help me, help me, help me. I mean, that is just, wow. It's amazing that you can go to an extreme and develop a hatred towards your flesh and blood to do something like that. You know the story, and Judah, one that means praise, said, hey, no, we got a great idea. Let's sell him in slavery. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Judah lifted up Joseph. I love that. I can preach on that one. Judah, praise, lifted up Joseph to a place to a direction that was going to lead him to a great call, a great, situation. And of course, that they sold him to Potiphar as a slave. Now, watch this. Joseph was in the pit. You know what I'm saying? Was in the pit. Now he's in a position that he's a slave. And he's working, for Potiphar and everything, Egyptian captain. Of course, his wife saw Joseph and wanted Joseph and wanted to fool around with Joseph. And thing is, Joseph had integrity, you know what I'm saying, in him, and he didn't fool around. And all of a sudden, Joseph tried to run away from, his wife, and his wife grabbed his clothing. She took his clothing to Potiphar, saying he tried to rape me and stuff like that. So he throws Joseph in prison, pit to prison. Wow. I mean, wow, how drastic difference of getting taken under, now getting taken under again. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that I look at that story, it's like, wow, it's amazing. That look at the story concerning this situation, concerning fulfilling a promise, concerning doing the will of God that he has been placed in. You know what I'm saying? To do something great, a great calling. But you see in the price tag that he had to get thrown by a prison from his own family. You know what I'm saying? He had to be sold as slave by his own family. He has to be falsely accused, for his own family. And now he's thrown in prison. Wow. I mean, he's going through a situation that he's going to the lowest, terriblest circumstances for a great purpose. And, shout out to the person that created this poster post. The poster post says that sometimes you have to be thrown in the dirt, thrown down in the ground in order to become a seed. Yeah. So all of a sudden, he meets this baker, he meets this servant, and he told the servant, good things gonna happen to him. Told the baker bad things gonna happen to him. All of a sudden, the servant, good things happen to him. He's at the Pharaoh's court. And now Pharaoh has a dream. And he has a dream. He needs interpretation. So, the servant says, hey, I know this guy can interpret dreams. And of course, Joseph, interpreted the dream and told him that, 7 years, you will be plentiful. 7 years, you're going to be in drought. Y'all know the story. And all of a sudden, telling him that story, save the nations. Save nations from starvation. That rhymes. Save nations from starvation. And he was, and now that is a direction and a calling about saving nations. You know what I'm saying? He was called to the nations. You know what I'm saying? Concerning doing that, calling. And the stuff that he went through is very drastic. You know what I'm saying? And very intense to be in that situation. I mean, I heard that Joseph was in prison for quite a long time. Not, a couple of days or a couple of weeks. I think years he was in prison. Now, the other Jesus. Jesus, of course, y'all know his story. He was at the Garden of Gethsemane. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, if it's my will, let this cup pass. Bam! All of a sudden, first betrayal by Judas. Now, he's arrested. You know what I'm saying? He get arrested. He gets thrown in jail. I see a pattern. He gets thrown in jail. He gets, Caiaphas, mocks him and, belittles him and tells him he's no good and whatever. Slaps him in the face. He gets humiliated. And now he gets thrown. There he goes. Get thrown to Pilate. And Pilate, the scribes and Pharisees telling him, said, this is a threat to y'all, Rome, more likely need to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say that, but that's what the ideal of the conversion. He said, this guy think he's king. You know what I'm saying? Jews. And, Pilate said, well, he's a heretic. He's a crazy guy. I don't have nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying? But they was trying to get him with the authority of Rome to get him killed. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he got beaten and bruised, 39 lashes, crown of thorn in his head. I mean, just getting thrown to betrayal, to humiliation, to rejection of, being chosen by, Barabbas. They chose Barabbas, not rejected him. Going through all this excruciation, terrible things going on in his life, going on in his head. And the thing is, and all of a sudden, bam, he gets to this place, on a cross, dying, a sinner's death with 2 thieves beside him, and had the, unction to minister to a thief right beside him. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, Jesus Christ died on the cross. It is finished. Put him in a tomb. He rose on the 3rd day. Bam! To be the salvation to humanity that can minister all across the nations. And the Great Commission is, make disciples, teach all nations. See, make disciples, teach all nations, baptize in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying? In his name. We're supposed to teach all nations. He did an act that was for the nations. Joseph did an act for the nations. Jesus did an act for the nations. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, what we need to understand is that the JJ rule is what is the direction that's supposed to bring us to nations. If you have a calling for nations, this is what you have to go through. You have to go through all this abuse. You got to go through all this rejection. You got to go through all this disrespect. You got to go through, and I look at Christians these days and and how they look at that and say, oh, this cannot be the will of God. This has not, oh, this person did me wrong. They complaining about, men doing them wrong and, somebody rejected them. This opportunity didn't work out. And, how Joseph look at that? I'm a slave for, Potiphar. And all of a sudden, I was accused of doing wrong, and this ain't working out. So I guess I'm not called to save the nations. No, I don't think Joseph was looking at that like that. I think God was showing him the process of what those 12 stars was all about. You know what I'm saying? That I'm going to use you to help touch the nations. You know what I'm saying? And we need to learn how to perceive what the nations that, if we're called for the nations, we need to perceive that reality, that what we have to go through in order to perform and do that calling. You know what I'm saying? And not be ignorant in our lust that we don't want to go through the trials and tribulations and bad situations to execute that job. But everybody's called to the nation. But when the body becomes one, we're going to reach the nations truly for the gospel of Jesus Christ. All right, that's the topic of the message. I hope you understand about what it is, the JJ plan, to be reaching the nations, and I hope you respect that plan of the process that